We are ready. My bag, Yuli's bags. Are you ready, darling? Just putting some electric in before we go, and we're out of here. No check scan anymore. Okay, so this is where we're staying, the In-B Park Hotel. It's right in the book at Bintang. It's good. We've stayed here probably about 10 times before. So there'll be a link in the Traveloka link in the description where you can click on that, and it's like an affiliate link, but I get a few points. I don't get anything out of it. Just a few points from Traveloka. So anyway, it's a pretty good place to stay. It's about $40 a night or so. So we're hunting breakfast, and we're just going to find a nasi kandar, maybe some chanai or something like that, Indian food. Hello, how are you?
Morning.
He's the master chef, Kamal. He makes the chanai, and these are like the chanai. Okay, so this is nasi kandar. What's this, Yul?
Fish.
Okay, so this is fish, goat, I think chicken. This is the beef, and they've also got rendang. So we might get a little bit of rendang and a little bit of the potato and sapi. Okay, so with these, they're not really chanai, these, what are they called?
Chapati.
Chapati. Isn't that dry though, isn't it? So we're just going to try a bit of the rendang first. See if it's better than Indo rendang. Probably not. Huh? Bone in there. Bonus. Not too bad. Tastes like rendang. There's a lot of controversy about where rendang come from. Is it from Indonesia or Malaysia? The Malaysians claim that it's theirs. Rendang's definitely got a little bit different than the Indo one, but it's nice, very good. And this one here is just a beef curry. Good stuff. So this is basically called nasi kandar. You pick what you want. It's Malaysian, Indian style food. Alright, so that's incredibly cheap. It was like 20 ringgit, which is about $6.50. We got rendang, curry, about 6 chanai or prathas or whatever they are. Yeah, so very cheap. Plus at 2 teas each, so just shows how cheap it is, the nasi kandar. So where we're going to, darling?
My town shopping.
She's guilty. Look at the guilty look on her face. So we're in a grab, and we're off to My Town Shopping Centre. Of course, the shopping centre. What are you going to do there?
Buy a handbag.
Buy a handbag. This is why we're only staying one day in KL before we go to Vietnam, so that she can't go shopping. But she's tricked me into the grab, telling me we're going for a fancy lunch and we're going handbag shopping. So here we are. She told me it was just like a little traditional market, some good food there, and look where we are, a giant shopping centre. Oh my God, My Town, Pintu Timur, eastern entrance. Timur means east, so Pintu is door, east entrance. Now, Indonesian language, Bahasa Indonesia, is actually Bahasa Malay, so it's, if you can speak Indonesian, you can communicate up here quite easy. There's a few words different because Indonesian language has just got a bunch of Dutch words thrown in on it, but otherwise same language basically. Maybe just pronounce different some words. A bag, look, we must be the first ones in here. The sign of a desperate shopper is being the first one in the shopping centre. Which is good because I hate shopping centres, busy shopping centres. Wow, it's big, look, it's like 4 levels. It's actually huge. Anyway, I'll get back to you when we find this silly bag shop. And we got to a shop and it's shut for renovations, but the bad thing is they've just moved it out here into the middle. Okay, while she's buying her boring bags, I'm going to check out this. That's a huge stand-up paddleboard. Look how wide it is. So apparently this is a sport shop or something, because they got tents out the front. It's a good tent actually. Pretty cheap too. Only $120. Bloody cheap. It's a big tent. Oh yes, now this is my type of store. How good is this shop? It's just a camping shop. It's got everything camping. from chairs to water bottles, backpacks, tents, you name it. Amazing. Wish they had something like this in Indo. These jackets look good. Look at these. Be a good waterproof jacket for riding the motorbike. 200 ringgit, which is about probably 60 bucks or something. Wow, well, I've just about had enough of the shopping centre. It's good it's not busy yet, but it is bloody huge. There's some really good shops. Now, that camping shop's the best shop I've ever been in KL, and I've been here like 100 times. How's that song go?
He love me, he give me all his money, my sugar daddy.
They keep running out of the gold shops and everything like that, asking Neil if she wants to buy this, buying cars, buying all sorts of shit. They think I'm the old Papa Gula, sugar daddy. Okay, so we're in central KL at the moment, and yeah, got the big central market over here. So we're going to have a look through the central market and just around this section of the city there. So this is known as Central. Yeah. There's actually the big central train station around here, and monorails, everything from here. And not far from here is Brickfields, Little India. Okay, it seems to be buzzing. There's a lot of tourists around there. There is absolutely heaps of Indonesian tourists here. You see them everywhere. So right through at Central, we got like this little drink stalls. Look. So anyway, we'll just cruise through here. Now this is a very, very touristy area. So you've got the big central market here on the left, the blue building, and just a bunch of eateries and coffee shops and markets and stuff down through the middle. It's been a while since I've been down through here. You can go inside the markets, or there's also these markets through this middle bit here. It's pretty early in the morning. It's only about 10:30 in the morning or something. It's starting to get busy. By the afternoon it'll be really busy through here. After this we'll head down to Petaling Street, Chinatown, and we'll check out the Chinatown markets. Alright, so we're going to go inside, just have a look at the market, see what sort of things are in here. They've actually done the building up once upon a time. It used to be, I think the first time I come here, it was just like a big old broken down roof, but many years ago. Yeah, a lot of the Malaysian wood carvings and tables, and very nice little hand carved tables and stuff. Check out this place, like a stained glass lamp shop. How unreal are they? Little souvenir shop. Petroni Towers, all the different flags from around the world. Oh, yeah. These you can sew on your shirts and that. There you got Indonesia, Costa Rica, from all over the world. Yeah. So anyway, I've got two. Just get an Indonesian one and an Australian one. And yeah.
Oh, you have many money.
Many money. I wish. Istri kaya, aku miskin. Begitu.
Ada.
YouTube banyak money.
This is my channel. Look.
Oh, okay. You
Scam.
how this money make you lend me?
I'm not that big a YouTuber. Not
No,
big.
you
This
tell
is
me
my-
how open, how money coming, everything.
Yeah.
Again, open
He
my
wants
shop.
commission off me YouTube. Look out.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, sir. And that's basically it for the central market, except for upstairs, which is all the same sort of thing. Upstairs. So we're basically only about 150, 200 metres to Jalan Petaling. Now this is the famous Chinatown markets up through there, so we're going to go over and have a look through that. So it's a bit of a mission to get across the road here. All right, so this is it here, the famous Petaling Street. So I've done a video on this before. I'll try and find it and put it in the end screen. I'll have a look in my Malaysia playlist. Now, it doesn't go too far, this thing. Probably only goes for about, 60, 70, 80 metres or something. And that's about it. But it's basically everything that was in Central Market will be in here. But it's just more sort of outdoors. These canopies are new roof on them. By the look of it, they were there, but they weren't coloured like that before, I don't think. There's a lot of watches, things like that, shirts, just all the basic, same old stuff you get everywhere in all the markets. They got all the the Thai pattern with the elephants. It's all the go in Indonesia at the moment too. The Thai patterns. I do need some socks actually. I think last time we were here I bought like 5 pairs of socks for like $5, I think, for 5 pairs of socks. I was like, oh, nice little shirts. They've got all the Versace and stuff like that shirts, all the fake stuff. It seems pretty busy. I suppose it looks like it goes for about 100 metres. Alright, so there's a little crossroads here where you can go, the market's that way, the market's that way, and just look how busy it is here. You can see a lineup of people just here, just to get this one juice in the back. You see them filling up the bottles, so must be some famous juice, I suppose. But it's getting busier up this end. Look at this. So what we're after really is some Beryl's chocolate. Now, Malaysian chocolate, Beryl's are their most famous chocolate, and it is truly, really, really amazing chocolate. So every time we come here, we buy boxes and boxes of it, take back to Indonesia. Right, it's finally thinned out up this end, which is good. It's getting a bit hectic through the middle there. Yeah, it's not a bad market. It's very touristy. It's worth coming and have a look. Petaling Market, Jalan Petaling, Chinatown. So this is like Muriel Street. You can see all the stuff on the walls and that. You can see this guy painting one here. So people just come in and paint what they want on the walls. It's like this everywhere down these little alleyways and that. It's just graffiti, but it's sort of tastefully done, I suppose. And they allow it to happen. This guy's just doing it in the middle of the day, and I think there's a little bowl there with some money. People probably throw him some money for doing it. So down here in this little back sheet, I was saying what before in the video, this is Beryl's chocolate. This is a little Beryl's chocolate shop apparently. We haven't been inside yet. We're going to go and check it out. It is the best chocolate you've tasted, seriously. So good. And if you haven't tried Beryl's chocolate, which you probably haven't, because it's only Malaysian chocolate, it is amazing, it really is. So it's my favourite chocolate in the world, really. Every time we come to KL, we just buy boxes and boxes and boxes of it, eh? So, okay, so these are like the cacao nuts. These are cacao. We got these growing in Sulawesi on our land. We've got 5 hectares of land, and it's got heaps of cacao trees on it. This is the different types of chocolate they use, the beans. Okay, so these are the ones we normally get. I like these, the dark chocolate ones. They've got an almond in the middle, and it's tiramisu. What is it? Tiramisu chocolate. And they've got the plain chocolate ones. So we normally get the plain ones with the almond. You can get them in boxes or packets, but these are easy to travel with. So there's a shop where we buy them, and if you buy 6, they give you 1 free, so we'll probably buy them there. But these are the best, the dark chocolate ones, so good. So you can't use cashiers, got to use your card, but we've got 2 packets of chocolate, Beryl's chocolate. Okay, so we're going to get the bus, one of these buses, go to the Bukit Bintang. It's only like 1 ringgit or something, which is like 30 cents or something. So a taxi was 25 ringgit from here. So we're about 5 or 6, 7 kilometres away. So, yeah, which is about $8 or $9 for the taxi, so, or the grab, so we'll get on the bus. Okay, so just got the bus. It was 1 ringgit the bus, really cheap. So we're right in the middle of the Bukit Bintang here now, opposite the pavilion. And our hotel's just a couple hundred metres down the road here, so we're going to go home. What's going on here? Overnight they had music and bands and that playing in this corner. So we'll come and check that out later on tonight. So we're just going to head down to home, have a relax, and come back up here tonight, the Bukit Bintang, check it out. Okay, so we're right in the Bukit Bintang right now. Just check out how busy this place is. It's only about just 8 o'clock at night, and this is when it gets really busy. People are coming out There's bands on the streets and all sorts of stuff. The Pavilion Mall over here with all the high-class shops and that. Another shopping mall here. There's normally bands and music on the corner here, but there's some promotion going on, so I don't know what we're going to do. So look how busy it is. Right, so up at this intersection here, you can see the monorail up the top there. This is one of the main intersections, and I'm pretty sure if you go left here, you come to the famous Jalan Alur food street. The Desa Dorian Festival. It's just a Dorian restaurant. Labo, Labo. Is it a Labo? Alright, so there's always heaps of little mascots or whatever you want to call them around. Like these things. They're everywhere. Capybara. That's all they go these days. And Dicky Chinese, look. A McDonald's bag on his head. Harassing them. This one here. Braised beef. And this is like a braised beef with potatoes and a Chinese fried rice. Right, so this is like a Japanese shop. Everything in here is Japanese. We've been in here before. We've got some amazing foods and stuff, really stuff you've never seen before. Gets really busy, eh? So we're just going to back out onto the street, the Bukit Bintang, and head back towards home. That's about it from the Bukit Bintang and KL, and what you can do in 48 hours in KL. There's plenty to do in this city, but I've seen it all a million times, so